Oh, well, hello, everyone on the World Wide Web. I was just verifying just now, make sure sound was working properly, because I always seem to have that problem when I start these live streams. So, anyway, welcome to the live stream. My name is Zach. I'll put my name on the screen in case you're not familiar with me. This is IT Career Questions, here to help you with all of your questions related to information technology, careers, resumes, interviews, general advice, all of that fun stuff. That's what this channel is all about. That's what I'm here to help you with. That's what I enjoy doing. So, welcome to the stream. I'm going to check the chat. Hello, I'm not going to, Yonatan. Hello. Hello, Mohammed. How y'all doing on this lovely Sunday? Hopefully it's lovely by you. It is what? It's midday. It's afternoon. Mark Vaya. Hey, last week you said you're applying for roles in entry-level data analyst, business analyst, SQL, dev, or data admin roles. You did MSc in data analytics. Awesome. Good luck to you. Are you you're still applying for roles? Have you gotten any interviews? I would love to know. I wanted to do something maybe not too entirely different, but maybe something different. We'll see. Let me look up. I'm going to look up something really quick here. And we'll see what we talk about today. Oh, wow. That's actually a lot more than I thought it would be. I was wondering about like the state of IT jobs, like the current IT jobs, like entry-level IT jobs. What are those looking like these days? I'm just here. Let me figure out how to share my screen here. I think I can just share a window. You can share. Let's share this window. How's this look? Oh, can I change the background of this too? Hold up, y'all. I gotta play with this. I didn't know this existed. What is this one? This background. Ooh, is that gonna be too trippy? That might be a little bit too trippy. What's this one? No, I don't like that one either. How's this one? No. Maybe not an animated one would be best. Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna make you all dizzy. Like, Zach, stop. Stop clicking. Stop making the background change. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't know I had all of these features. It's interesting. Anyway. Oh, I hope y'all can see my screen now. Let's make it as large as we possibly can. There we go. How's that? Get out of here. So I was just wondering, it's been a while since I have gone out on Indeed and I have searched for anything entry level IT related. And I used to do this very, very, very often when I was doing YouTube more frequently, especially on this channel, where I would, try to help you guys with what's happening, what's new, state of technology as a whole, all those fun things. And I would very frequently just go out on Indeed and I would start searching for different certifications, different job titles, things like that, just to get an idea of how many jobs were being listed for those specific criteria. So, for instance, we're doing CompTIA A plus. How many jobs on Indeed are listed with CompTIA A plus as one of those requirements, or just something that they're asking for within that job description? So out on Indeed, search for it. There are 8,355 jobs posted looking for the CompTIA A plus. I could tell you for sure, like 100% positive, we could probably go back onto old live streams on this channel where I've done this very, very, very same thing. Looked out on Indeed for CompTIA A plus. And I could tell you for certain, this would be even like 4 or 5 years ago that we've done this. Like even before 2020, I remember doing this. And I remember how many jobs were always listed for CompTIA A plus. This was something that I was thinking about yesterday. And I was like, man, it'd be really good to do like a follow-up type of thing on this, a follow-up video. And that's kind of what we're doing today. And I just wanted to do it randomly because why not? It's fun. So it's like, all right, 5 years ago, 2019, there were about 9,000 jobs on average for CompTIA A plus on Indeed. Every single time I would go out on Indeed.com, I'd search for CompTIA A plus, there would be around 9,000 jobs asking for that certification. There are now 8,355 jobs asking for the CompTIA A plus. So again, on average, I would say like 5 years ago, it was around 9,000. I mean, this is fairly close to 9,000. I'm actually very surprised to see this, because of the fact, like, I've again stepped back a little bit from some of the entry level stuff as far as IT goes, because of just my career trajectory. So just coming back to this and seeing this now 5 years later, and still seeing essentially the same amount of jobs being posted for those jobs, they're like, I think there's a lot of people out there like doom and gloom in IT and all of these things, and AI is going to take all of our jobs, and AI is going to take all of our help desk jobs. Well, the facts are now based on proof, essentially, right? Because we're out on Indeed. This is a job posting site. This is up to date. There are 8,000 jobs still looking for CompTIA A plus, and all of those 8,000 jobs, I would guarantee, are going to be mostly entry level type of jobs. Like right here, here's tier 2 help desk technician. Um, they're looking for the CompTIA A plus. So if we scroll through here, it's like lots of great stuff. The pay's decent for a tier 2 help desk. I'd say that's pretty decent for tier 2, especially help desk technician. That's pretty good. I like that they put here qualifications: 3 to 5 years experience in IT help desk and customer service. I would just like throw out you don't need 3 to 5 years experience in IT help desk to work. I mean, if they're looking for a tier 2, potentially maybe, but really your customer service skills are going to drive that home all of the time. I was looking for the certifications here. Where are they at? Where is it listed? Did I scroll past it? I may have scrolled past it. Oh, here you go. Industry certifications such as CompTIA Fundamentals, A plus, Net plus, Security plus, Microsoft, Cisco, or comparables preferred. There you go. So yeah, this is again very interesting, because 5 years ago, same amount of time, or same amount of jobs posted. There's a super chat, so let me figure out how I do this. Go to this. There we go. Super chat. Thank you very much, Yanatan. If I said your name improperly, I apologize. I am terrible at names, but thank you very much for the super chat. Always appreciated. What are your thoughts on the CCST certs networking, and do you think there will be a demand for it? Jobs related in IT, and thank you, and you're welcome. CCST, is that the one Cisco one? I'm sitting here babysitting my coffee. Hold on. All right, CCST certification. Yeah, Cisco certified support technician. So this is what we could do. This is what I always like to do. Anytime there's a new certification or anything coming out, and you said that you hate Indeed. There's Monster, there's LinkedIn, there's so many different job sites out there. Indeed, it's just the easiest one to go to, one of the more popular ones. I've always had luck with it. But here, let's look up CCST. 158 jobs. I imagine this isn't going to be too accurate based on like exactly looking for that specific certification that you run into sometimes with all these different certifications. Cisco, we'll look up CCST, right? 19 jobs. All right, so now let's take Cisco certified support technician. We'll put that in Indeed. 583. Now let's see if this is a network support technician. Just based off of that title alone, I would think, maybe I shouldn't assume, I would think that a network support technician would actually require or need or find value in a Cisco certified support technician certification. And let's read this real quick. These entry-level certifications are perfect stepping stones to kickstart your career in IT. Be sure to check out the free online training from Cisco Networking Academy to get you started on earning your Cisco Certified Support Technician Networking or Cybersecurity certifications. I will tell you this. Cisco, they do a really good job. They really do. And Cisco is one of the, I mean, they're one of the largest IT companies in the entire world, and they are probably one of the most well known. Especially as you're getting into IT and all of that stuff, like you're always going to hear Cisco, Cisco this, Cisco that, all the things Cisco, right? You'll hear it often. Anytime you can get a Cisco certification or have experience with Cisco systems and things like that, the better off you will be always, 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 always. So yeah. Now, the fact, like, if we go back to this though, there are 583 jobs potentially posting or looking for the Cisco certified support technician. So let's take a look through here real quick. CCNA preferred. Did I skip past that? No, here we go. Cisco, sorry, network associate. So Indeed is just pulling off of the keywords essentially, maybe here. I don't see it asking specifically for the Cisco certified support technician. Does this job have it listed? This is for a desktop support professional. Scrolling. Certifications. I don't see that specific certification. You know, this is one of those things. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was sharing my screen also, but I was not. I don't know if this person is trolling the Chrome Walker. Like, no, like honestly, like I hope like if you're going to start trolling, because you could be going down that way. Like, I'm not sure, but nobody like I want to say this in the best way. I'll just say yes, you can, and like no, like I would say the majority, the most of people working in IT do not care, and I mean that with like all of my love and passion behind that. Like, we don't care. Like we want everybody to work in IT. Like IT is we accept everybody, quite honestly. There is so much diversity in technology, and that diversity keeps growing, and I love seeing it. Like I personally love seeing all of the diversity that is coming to IT. So yes, and I will highlight this question just so everybody knows. Yes, if you are gay, absolutely work in IT. 100%. Like, please do. Don't think because of whoever you are or whatever you are or what anything that you are. Don't ever think that would. Don't let that ever stop you from doing anything. This goes for like everybody across the board. Like, yeah. It's 2024, and I realize like not everybody thinks the same way that I do. But I promise you, there are a lot of other people in information technology that think very, very similar to the way that I do. And we will welcome you all with open arms. And yeah, I promise you of that. I definitely will. I will hug you right now. But yeah, so yeah, please come to IT. Back to the super chat though. My thoughts on the CCST certs. Now, this is going to be, I'm going to give you my overall thoughts on certifications before I talk about the CCST cert specifically, because I think the overall answer that I'll give you almost answers. But anyway, my overall thought on certifications is they are always going to be helpful for you. Always. Like, it does not matter what the certification is. A certification's the core responsibility is to essentially teach you something and validate that you have learned something, is what I really should say. Most certifications should come with training to help you pass that certification, like Cisco is doing, which is phenomenal. They're offering it for free, which is great. There are other certification vendors out there where you have to pay for the certification and you have to pay for additional training outside of that, which is absolutely ridiculous. And that would be CompTIA. But Cisco does a great thing with, I think, all of their certifications actually. And they have the Cisco Network Academy where they offer all of that training for free. props to Cisco. I love Cisco for doing that. And again, going back to just certifications in general, they're always going to be helpful for you no matter what. They're going to provide some bit of knowledge. And that's always what you should take away from a certification. It's going to be helpful for you no matter what. Is it always going to help you get a career, though, or advance your career? No. Everybody looks at, like, hiring managers look at certifications differently, weigh them out differently, et cetera, et cetera. The best thing that you can really do when you're looking at certifications is go out on Indeed, go out on LinkedIn, go out on all these different job posting sites and look and see how many people are requesting that certification. If that's, if you're trying to, like, figure out your career, your path, your journey here, look at those certifications that may be of interest to you. Look and see how many of those, like, how many jobs are asking for those. That's kind of a great way to figure out like the most value that you'll get. But even still, the information that you're going to learn from the CCST is going to be valuable for you. It's all free information for you. It is a certification at the end of the day that you can put on your resume, and it does say Cisco on it. And Cisco is one of the, like, most marketable companies in the entire world. Anytime you can throw a Cisco certification on your resume, I highly advise that. It always looks good. It really, really does. It just stands out. So hope that helps you out there. And thank you again for the super chat. Very much appreciated. I'm probably, like, way behind on the chat. So hello to everybody out there. If I missed your chat, I'm sorry. What do I think of the EJPT certification? I mean, quite honestly, like, I can actually do this now. I can be very, very honest about this and how I would compare it without having too much of a bias, I would completely ignore anything from INE. Completely honest with you. Like, I wouldn't even bother with it. They have gone downhill significantly, tremendously. This is what it is. Instead of the EJPT, I would look at the PJPT from TCM Security. It's the Practical Junior Penetration Tester certification. And I'm no longer with TCM Security. So, like, this is just me being 100% honest with y'all. That would be the route to go. PJPT over the EJPT all day long. PJPT is going to be so much more hands-on and relatable to the real world. So that'd be the route to go. What's up, David Meese? How you doing, sir? Abdullah, yo, what's up? All right, Chrome Walker, you were serious. Well, I'm serious too. Again, like, the diversity, man. Like, I feel like I've seen so much more diversity coming to IT in the last few years. Like, really, so much has changed since 2020, y'all. Like, so many things have changed since 2020. That really specifically relates to IT and my thought process here. But yeah, there's been so much more diversity. So I feel like it's getting better. It seems like it's getting better, and I hope that it gets better because I want everybody to work in IT. Like, I don't, like, care who you are. Like, I mean that, like, in the most, like, heartfelt way. Like, truly. Like, I love all of the people. You're having trouble creating labs for your experience. Can anyone help? Well, share your experience and maybe somebody can share some lab ideas with you. Speaking of networking, Zach Hill, you're hoping to see me at HackSpaceCon this year. I will be at HackSpaceCon this year. I will be there. I'm excited. Last year was a lot of fun. Just, I mean, I'm a big space nerd. So being at HackSpaceCon, so freaking cool. Seeing rockets everywhere, like, that's legit. I'm all about that. All about that. Free, yes, free. I think we're talking about Cisco stuff. Yes, Cisco stuff is free, and it's amazing. James Carroll, good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing all right. What do I think of the CompTIA beta certs? I don't, what I don't know. Like, what do you want me to think of? What do you want me to? I have thoughts on CompTIA. CompTIA is great. and not great at the same time. That's CompTIA. Anyway, um, let's see. Hang on. Let's look up. Let me take this off the screen. This is actually interesting. I'm glad that I did this. So anytime I always talk about CompTIA, like every single time I talk about CompTIA, like literally the only certification of any value from CompTIA. This goes from both the knowledge side of things and the marketing, like the marketability of that certification. And y'all have to understand, when I say marketability of a certification, I mean, how much value is that certification going to provide to you when you put it on your resume? So like the marketability of that is, how much is that going to stand out to an employer? Are they going to look at that certification and say, oh, wow, they have that certification. That's great. That looks good for them. That's what I'm talking about with marketability of a certification. And when it comes to CompTIA, their best certification all around, from the knowledge that you gain and the marketability of it, is the CompTIA Security Plus. That is literally the only certification there worth value, like worth getting. Otherwise, like I've been telling people, because of this, because of the fact that like CompTIA certifications are so expensive in the grand scheme, and they're supposed to be entry level certifications, I just tell people, study for those certifications. There's no point in getting some of those certifications because, one, they're super expensive. Two, they actually don't provide like a real world perspective on what you're going to face in entry level IT. And three, I don't know, they're just kind of garbage for the most part. So in reality, like, yeah, study for the A plus, study for the Network Plus. But like when it comes down to it, especially if you're studying for the Network Plus, right? Like, don't ever get the Network Plus. Get your CCNA, because the CCNA, number one, is cheaper than the Network Plus, and number two, is far more marketable than the Network Plus ever will be. And again, it's the CCNA is cheaper than the Network Plus. Blows my mind. Oh, and if you want to put a fourth one on that, the Cisco CCNA, I don't know why I say it like that, is literally, I just said Cisco Certified Network Associate. Sorry. Anyway, CCNA. I forgot where I was going with that, but it's just a better certification. All right. And I was going to say, Cisco provides you free training for the CCNA. CompTIA does not do that. Although it's like you could just go watch Professor Messer stuff and pass it. But anyway, you know, I wanted to talk about the Security Plus here real quick, because I was actually surprised by this. There are more jobs there are more jobs asking for the A plus than the Security Plus, and I'm actually surprised by that. Really, I'm gonna let's type in Sec Plus, because a lot of people do that too. No, yeah, wow, 261 just for Sec Plus, and then maybe just try Security Plus. Doubt that they would do that too. That might skew. Yeah, I figured that would skew things to actual like security type jobs. So CompTIA Security Plus. Again, that's actually very surprising to me. That's interesting. I'm glad that we're doing this today. More jobs are requesting the A plus than the Security Plus. What does that tell you about the industry? Like, I'm asking you guys, everybody out there in the chat, if you have like, kind of some knowledge of how the industry is, meaning like you've worked in IT for some time, what are your thoughts on that? Like the fact that CompTIA A plus has more results than the CompTIA Security Plus. I'll just show you. CompTIA A plus. That's so interesting. There are, again, so 8,000 jobs for the A plus, 7,000 jobs for the Security Plus. What does that tell you? Do you know what that tells me? It tells me that we desperately need more people working in entry-level IT, because AI is still not going to take any of these help desk jobs. Ah, yeah. James Carroll, this is actually a great question. Zach, what are your thoughts about CCNA being vendor specific, or do you think since Cisco is so ubiquitous, it's a moot point? I think it's a moot point, quite honestly. Yes, there are other network vendors out there. There's like what, HP and Juniper and all of these things. And I would tell you, right, what you're going to learn from your CCNA studies is going to be more than helpful and sufficient for you to learn and pick up on Juniper or HP networking, right? Like, that's just kind of like the nature of the beast type of thing when you're learning things in IT. So much of what you learn about Cisco can transfer over to Juniper or HP. Are things going to be different? Yes, they will be different, but so much of that foundational and fundamental knowledge that you'll learn easily carries over. So, yeah, CCNA is definitely vendor specific, meaning it very much focuses on Cisco equipment, but across the world of IT, you're going to find that Cisco is pretty much used everywhere. So there's that, right? So again, yeah, I think it's a moot point, sir, but it's a great question. Kimberly can fix it. Hello, it is so good to see you. Happy to catch the live. Yes, people always need help desk. 100% for sure. I'm actually just really surprised by this. It's been a long time since I've done the search between comparing the CompTIA A plus and the CompTIA Security Plus. And yeah, it's just surprising to me that there are more jobs looking for the A plus. That actually it really does surprise me. It's cool though. It's cool to see. Whipping bricks. Hello, IT career question. Did you get your email you sent me about idea for my next YouTube video? Were you the one that sent me the idea about doing the I don't know, top certifications in 2024? Was that an email or is that a LinkedIn message or something? I don't know. What email did you send me? I'm sorry. I'm terrible at getting back to people. Lots of agreement. Sec Plus is their best one. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Look at Scott S. Security Plus got them his job. Yeah. Any help with programming? What kind of help do you want with programming? Hacking games is a good thing to put on a resume? I don't know. What kind of hacking games are you talking about? What is the best course to study for after CCNA? Well, after you take your CCNA, I would like, hopefully you have kind of an idea in mind, like what your journey and path looks like where do you want to go? What is it that you want to do? You take your CCNA, let's say you pass your CCNA, now you're CCNA certified. What are you going to do? Are you currently working? Are you looking for work? So many questions that I can ask back to you, and I'm sorry for that, but that's the way that it goes. Okay, CCNA overcome, yeah, for sure. Again, not that CompTIA is terrible. Like, not that they're terrible. There's some value there. Some jobs require A plus for some reason. Yes. So some jobs, there are actually a lot of jobs, quite surprisingly, that require CompTIA certifications. I think the only reason CompTIA still stays in business is because they are tied to our government. And, like DOD and all the government agencies are required to have CompTIA certifications. It's a ripoff. It's a scam. So stupid. But yes, some jobs require it. Some jobs even I should here. Some jobs will require you have a CompTIA certification. And you might look at that job and be like, oh, I shouldn't apply for that because I don't have that certification. Well, some jobs, like this just happens, right? Like it happens all the time. You'll see on like LinkedIn or whatever, like 500 people applied for a job. Well, 500 people might not meet the qualifications for that job or what have you, blah 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 blah. There's always a chance, is what I'm trying to get at with y'all. Apply for the job anyway. Sometimes like you just might be that perfect person for that position. And even though you don't have your CompTIA certification yet, they might be like, you know what, you are the perfect person for this position, and we'll give you 3 months, 6 months to get your CompTIA certification or certifications, and we'll pay for it. Like, that actually happens in real life. It's kind of cool. So A plus has more than CCNA. Did we look up CCNA? I don't think we looked up CCNA. Let's look up CCNA. Let's share this screen. Oop, I can't type indeed.com. All right. CCNA. What's CCNA? CCNA has 7,000 jobs. CompTIA A plus has 8,000 jobs. That's so interesting. That tells me so much. Like, I don't know if that says a lot to all of you people out there, but like that says a lot to me. That really, really, truly does. Cisco certified network associate. Oh, well, that's interesting. Same amount. I wonder if like Indeed like does some fanciness behind the scenes. Be like, oh, you typed out Cisco certified network associate, but we know that like everybody just says CCNA. So we'll just show you those same results because I think they were identical, weren't they? 7261, 7264. Wasn't that much of a difference. But still, that's surprising to see. Christian, number one, you want to make 100K and more. What do I recommend for you? I don't know, 5 years or so working in IT and having a good journey. You sent me an email about a web developer named Coding Phase ranting and downplaying IT cyber roles, saying cybersecurity is boring, with other interesting comments. I would love for you to react to it. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, my friend. I will log into my email. It's going to take me a minute. I don't have my email set up on this computer. But I will look. I will see what you're talking about. Downplaying IT is saying cybersecurity is boring. I mean, that's like a perspective thing, you know? Like legit, just like a perspective thing. Coding Phase. Did you put that in the email? Whipping bricks. There you are. You were right. Whipping bricks. All right. I'm just going to read this email. You're a subscriber to my YouTube channel. You're preparing to take the CompTIA A+ certification next month. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. You're contacting me because you have an idea for my next YouTube video. In this email, you have provided a link to a YouTube video by a web developer named Coding Phase. Comments on IT jobs. So you'd love for me to take a reaction video about this since you are an IT professional with years of experience. Coding Phase also started out in help desk before becoming a web developer. Link to the video is provided below. Tune in at this time on the video to hear his comments on IT careers such as DevOps, cybersecurity, etc. You provided his comments and quotes, and you say his comments and quotes. Cybersecurity is boring. Anybody in cybersecurity think about cybersecurity, that stuff is boring. That stuff is the most boring job you can think of. Cybersecurity is for people who are going to stay in the corporate ladder. They're always going to need a company to give them a job. You're always going to have to get certifications. Anything that has to do with IT, cybersecurity, DevOps, that stuff is boring. You're always going to need a company to give you a check. What? It sounds like dude couldn't cut it in cybersecurity. I don't know. It sounds like they're jaded that they couldn't cut it. Like that's literally what it sounds like to me. And I have no problem saying that. So seems kind of silly. Sorry, cybersecurity didn't work out for you, but it works out for, plenty of other people. There's your reaction. I hope that was helpful for you. I mean, do you really want me to do a reaction video to that? Like, honestly, dude's just jaded. Like, it's just stupid. Kimberly, you need to renew your A+ this week. It expires in March. Well, good luck. All that stuff. Hello, the Candyman. Whipping bricks. Yep, looked at it. Kimberly, you took your CCNA about 3 years ago and passed the class, but didn't attempt the cert. Yeah, it's all right. Happens. Life gets in the way. Is it legal to hack other companies? Like if you work for Pepsi and hack Coca-Cola? No, that is illegal. It's very much not legal. Does this happen? I mean, I doubt that Pepsi. I mean, I love that. I'm sorry that I laughed, but this is it's fun. I'm not laughing out of like any type of maliciousness. Please understand that. Um, yeah, I doubt that Pepsi is hacking Coca-Cola or vice versa. But I would imagine, like back in the day, like if technology was a thing, like, like I could imagine that. Like I'm sure there was lots of like corporate espionage back in the day. I doubt that that exists. I mean, I'm sure it exists to some level these days, but I doubt like Pepsi is going to hack Coca-Cola. But that'd be interesting. That would be interesting to like think about. Sorry. I'm just I think out the scenarios in my head and it it's fun. Ah, sorry. I enjoy that stuff. Like anytime I like me personally, I'm like somebody comes at me with like things sometimes, like I'm the type of person where like I like to put myself in other people's shoes and like think out the scenario and think about how things would go. Um, I think that's like a lot like part empathy, you know. I don't know. But anyway, so fun. Thank you for that. Hi, Dad. Hi, Evan. Alligator. It's good to see you, sir. If you would like, I'll send you a link and you can come and join me on this call, Evan Alligator. That would be fine with me. It's Junaid. You're currently studying CCNA, so you would like to know what to do next year to finish your studies. Uh, to next year, what do you mean? Like after you do your CCNA or what? Question from Kimberly. What advice do I have for someone who has been studying but feels they don't have the confidence or people skills to pass an interview? Maybe confidence. What should they be doing to get better? Yeah. The confidence or people skills to pass the interview. I've done quite a few videos, and I think I need to do more about this topic, or and topics specifically. Uh, this is one of those things where it's like I don't have always the best answer because I feel like the best. Well, I guess I feel like the best answer is time and just doing more interviews, and it's like a shitty. Sorry, now YouTube's gonna demonetize me or LinkedIn or whatever. um, it's a crappy thing for me to say, right? Because like nobody wants to go into interview after interview after interview after interview. It sucks. I get that. I get that. But it's just like your learning journey, through IT and like trying to get a certification and studying and studying and studying, right? It's just like practice, practice, practice. And that's what interviewing is. And like I know it sucks. I believe me, I get you. Like you go through an interview process and you don't get the job. Like you don't make it through the interview. It sucks. But every interview that you go through is a learning experience, and you have to take notes about that experience, and you have to reflect on that experience because, again, this sucks to say, but the more that you interview, it's like the more practice you get, and the better you will be at it. And that, again, that really sucks. But practice makes perfect, and it's just one of those things where, like, I could give you all of the advice in the world, and I could, give you like all of the pro tips and things that you would need to pass the interview essentially, but it still just boils down to like you going through that experience time and time again. um I can tell you this because I feel like here's my answer to your question. Another, I guess maybe I'll the end my last answer to your question here. Because it is a really good question. I appreciate that. Um the confidence portion of it, going into an interview, first of all, like the interview goes both ways, and you have to kind of understand that just as much as you're feeling them out, or just as much as they're feeling you out, you are feeling them out and making sure that's going to be a good fit. And that has to provide a certain level of confidence for you. And I know, again, like that could be very stressful or uneasy or whatever to hear, because like some people are like really trying to get a job like as soon as they possibly can and they're desperate. I get that. But like don't ever take a job that like is throwing off red flags. So like when you're going into an interview, You have to know and understand like your boundaries and what you are willing to accept and what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do and what you're not willing to accept. So there has to be a certain level of confidence in you going into the interview and knowing and understanding, hey, like I know I really need a job and I really want to be working in IT, or maybe I really want this job. But if you're going through that interview and you see red flags, like that, that's a good sign to GTFO. But it's also, just just another way to have a little bit of confidence with you and saying, yep, yeah, I understand. Like, I understand this. Like, I can do this. I feel confident enough to know that when I see something bad, that I can say no. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing for you. The next part of this, because like going through the interview, I think everybody worries. Like you just said, somebody who's been studying, you've been studying nonstop and you're going into that interview and you get asked a question and you don't know the answer. Like this is the worst, right? Like everybody freaks out about this. And this is like everybody's biggest worry, especially when it comes to technical interviews or just, IT in general. When it comes to interviews, like probably going to get asked something technical. What happens when you don't know the answer? Well, be honest. Like seriously, please, anytime you get asked a question in an interview, you don't know the answer, be honest. No, I don't know that specific technology and I don't know how to troubleshoot that specific thing, but I know how to do that. That's your answer. Don't just say no, I don't know how to do that and leave it at that. Say no, I'm not familiar with that, or no, I don't know how to do that, but I know how to find the answer. I'm going to go out on the Google. I'm going to go out on YouTube. I'm going to exhaust all of the resources that I have. I'm going to ask my peers. I'm going to ask my managers. I'm going to ask everybody that I can for advice and help to help me solve this, problem, this issue. You don't have the answer, right? But you do have the answer, if that makes sense. Like when you're going through an interview, you don't always have to have the right answer. Interviews are just like feeling people out, understanding their thought processes and, just what makes them tick, so interview, you don't have the answer, be honest, tell them that you know how to find the answers. And that is going to always be more beneficial and helpful for you than just, saying, no, I don't know how to do that. And then just moving on to the next question. Yes, you do have to know yourself. And thank you. I love this hat too. When I came to anti-siphon training / Black Hills, that my first question to them was, where are the Rekka hats? And they were like, we don't have any. And I was like, well, I'm going to get one made because I have to have a Rekka hat. So the Rekka hat exists because I love hats. I'm trying to catch up with the chat. I know there's somebody here that I want to make sure I say hi to before they leave. Where are you at? I know I saw your name come up. Jacob, there you are. Where can you purchase a Run CMD hat? Hey, Jacob, are you going to be at any conferences this year? I'll put the link in the chat, but if you're going to be at conferences this year, I'm going to be bringing hats with me because I like to give hats away. So, my Run CMD hat, and then look at, there's like a whole stack. It's like, and there will be more, just stacks on stacks of hats, hats on hats on hats. Speaking of interviews, you might have one coming up. Good luck to you. You've been consulting for residential clients for years now, but what should you prep for? Small government agency infrastructure. I mean, it's honestly, man, it's probably going to be like any other interview for the most part. Best thing that you can do. This is always like the pro advice that I give, like really, truly, honestly. And I think a lot of people get annoyed by it. Like I feel guilty every time that I say this to people. I really do, but it is absolutely 100% like the best way for you to prepare for an interview in 2024. I promise you, there is like literally no better way to do this. Like this is like this specifically for people who are new to IT and just like trying to get started. And you're trying to figure out like, God, what are they going to ask me on the interview? Like, how do I prepare for this? Right? We're going to do this. I'm gonna share my screen. Again, we're doing lots of screen sharing today. It's wonderful. I'm so excited about that, honestly. So we're gonna pick out this network support technician job right here. Let's say we got an interview for this job. I'm like, what are they going to ask? This isn't even hang on, let me find a better one. That's a crappy job description. So it's not going to work on crappy job descriptions. And this is overall pretty crappy, I guess. It's not very in-depth at all. Like at all. Let's see. What's this one? Full job description, blah, 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 blah. More things. Yeah, well, let's see. Yeah, this is fine. There's a lot of things here. So we are going, ooh, boy. Come on. There we go. We are going to highlight and copy this job description. So I'm going to highlight this. All we're going to do copy. I already did a Control-C. That copies it, just so y'all know, in case you're not familiar with keyboard shortcuts. I don't know your all levels of knowledge. I'm just trying to be helpful. Anyway, now that I copied this job description, I want to figure out, hey, what kind of questions could I get during an interview? Now, keep in mind, there's absolutely no way anybody would ever know every single job or like every single question that you would get during a job interview. Unless you spoke to somebody who went to that job interview before you and you're like, hey, what questions did they ask you during that interview? Or if you knew somebody in that organization, you could say, hey, what questions did they ask during an interview, right? That's the only way that you would ever know for sure what questions that you would get during a job interview. Otherwise, it's just up in the air. But we can say, hey, looking at this job description, they're talking about all of these different technologies, Chromebooks, Mac, PCs. They are talking about support tickets. They are talking about Windows and Active Directory, network servers, routing protocols, filtering, Google Suite admin, right? They're talking about all these things. So with that information, like I could sit here because I've worked in IT for a long time. I could sit here and probably go through this and put together like a short list of questions that you could get in an interview based on this job description. Now, I wouldn't expect you to be able to do that being new. Don't try to do that. It would be really, really difficult for you to do. Instead, we're going to our best friends or best friend. It's my new best friend. His name is ChatGPT. And I know people get annoyed by this, but I promise you, like ChatGPT is a tool. It's to help you. It's not to take over anything. Just let it help you. So we copy that job description. So we're going to say, hey, ChatGPT, what type of technical questions could I expect in a job interview based on this job description? And we'll paste it in there. ChatGPT, dude, I'm telling you guys, like it is a tool. It's helpful. It's just, it is meant to be an assistant for you. And it is about to assist us now. All right. So based on this job description for an educational technology specialist at the school, you can expect a wide range of technical questions and blah, 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 blah. So ChatGPT is just taking its time. And I knew this was going to happen. And I was watching the count on how many people were watching this stream when I went to ChatGPT, and I knew people would start dropping as soon as I brought it up. And it's just really funny. That's exactly what happened. But y'all, this is just a tool. It's just supposed to help you. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. And if you don't want to use it, you are only hurting yourself. Like literally at this point in time, if you don't want to use like the GPTs to help you and assist you, you are only going to like fall behind because of that. Like you are going to be the person that like, you know, is like left in the dust. This is like, it's unfortunate, but it's just like, hey, either like learn about it or, you know, just stay behind everybody else type of thing. Sorry. Anyway, so here, based on that job description, these are some pretty good questions, I would imagine. I mean, I've done this. I'm telling you, I have done this probably legitimately like 50 times because I just did a video about this, I don't know, like a month ago. Literally just broke this, like just what I talked about now into a video. But anyway, it does a good job. So based on that job description, describe your experience with configuring and managing a Windows Active Directory environment. Can you walk us through the process of setting up a new user and assigning them to groups? Pretty good question. That's for a educational IT technician. So there is potential that you would maybe you've set up Active Directory before. Maybe you could walk them, people through steps on how to do that. If you are applying for a job that is asking for Active Directory, I would always, oh my gosh, like I tell everybody this, like core key technologies to be learning in IT 2024, Active Directory is going to be like number one on that list always. But anyway, we could go through this list. You guys could do this all on your own. It's really, really easy to do. You just take the job description and throw it in ChatGPT and say, hey, based on this job description, tell me what kind of questions I could get. These are just like kind of examples. These are ideas. These are potentials. These aren't saying for sure this is what you're going to get. It's just saying, hey, based on what we see in this job description, these are questions that you could potentially come up. And if you didn't know an answer to one of these questions, like you could say, hey, ChatGPT, can you give me an answer for this question? And we'll just paste it in there. So that very first question, can you give me an answer for describe your experience with configuring and managing a new user or managing a Windows Active Directory environment, and can you walk us through the process of setting up new user and assigning them to groups? ChatGPT it's going to come through on this. Like this is all like pretty fundamental kind of stuff that they typically doesn't get wrong. Like ChatGPT typically doesn't get wrong, but it can get wrong. So there is that, right? But still, it's going to be pretty much on point. It's going to walk you through that to the best of its ability, for sure. You could verify all of this. You could go out onto Google and say, all right, enabling additional attributes or services to Active Directory. Like, what does that process look like? Go out and Google it. There's going to be videos that talk about additional attributes and services for Active Directory. There's going to be other videos and documentation out there about assigning groups to people and things like that. There's so much information out there to help you along. But again, this is just kind of helping you out here. Hey, this is the job description. These are potential questions that you can get. And if you don't know how to answer them, well, just use ChatGPT to help you with that as well. So anyway, hope that was helpful. I'm way, way behind on the chat now, but it's a great tool. It's a great resource for y'all. It's just supposed to be helpful. What are my recommendations on post-interview tips? For instance, thank you emails, checking in on the hiring process, etc. I always like this, like email about a day or two afterwards. Just give them a little like breather room. Some people will tell you differently. Some people like, oh, do it like the day of, but give them a little bit of a breather. I mean, that could be up to you. But I like to say, thank you for your time. I really appreciate meeting with you. And then maybe provide any type of value insight based off of like conversations that you had in an interview. Hey, we talked about this during the interview, and I took my time, in these last couple of days before I emailed you to look up this thing even further. I'm glad that this was brought in an interview. It really helped me kind of, open up my eyes and expand my knowledge, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for your time. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Regards, Jacob Thompson. Something along those lines. It's always good to do that. You pinged my website. Average equals 296 ms. Okay. Cool. I don't care. I haven't, whatever. It's a website, y'all. I don't think I've done anything with it for quite some time. Anyone not adapting becomes extinct like a dinosaur. True story. And hello, Mom. How are you doing, Mother? Good to see you. Everybody say hi, Mom. My mom is the most OG fan of whatever it is that I do, because it's my mom, clearly, right? She's got to be. But my mom, OG, watches all of the shit that I do, stuff that I do. Gosh. Now LinkedIn is definitely banning me, and YouTube too. But anyway, my mom watches all my stuff. Hi, Mom. Love you. My mom, I'm telling you, she literally watches all of my stuff. Next level interview prep. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. Yes, add that takeaway or tidbit you learned in the interview. Make it more personal. 100%. I love that. I love making it more personal. This ain't HPC. What's that? I don't know what that is. Harry Potter chat? I don't know. I'm not sure. Here's a suggestion from Kimberly. Jacob Thompson, as a former recruiter, she always suggests to send an email after the interview. And thanking them for their time. You'd see them another round the time they stated you should hear back. Yes. Hello, Dave T. Can I speak to the constant adapting and burnout? What do you mean specifically by that? The constant adapting? Like, that's one of the things about IT. Like, in order to be successful in IT, like, you're going to constantly be adapting because technology is constantly adapting and evolving and doing fun things. Is that what you're referring to? The burnout. The burnout is a different thing. We can talk about that too if you want. But is that what you're talking about with the adapting? They mentioned your latency was high, but it's a website, so not high performance computing. Yeah. It's like a WordPress website, and I haven't updated it in like 8 months or so. No big deal. I don't even know if there's any useful information on there. The constant learning. Yeah, that's just part of the journey, man. Like that, if nobody told you that as you were starting to get into the field, then they failed you, and I'm sorry that they failed you. But that is one of the things about IT, is that you will always be learning. It is a learning journey, always. And that's just because technology constantly changes and evolves and does new and exciting things. And you have to adapt along with that. It gets easier. It really does. It gets easier over the years. So as you're starting out, the first 5 years or so are just going to be a constant information overload, and you'll probably always think like you won't ever be like comfortable with where you're at. But after like 5 years or so, like you'll start to understand, it's not as hard as you think it is to adapt, to learn new things. So many of the like new things that are coming out have so many other like foundations and fundamentals like baked into it already, where there's so many similarities to things that you've already done over the years. Like the adaptation process and that learning process becomes much easier. It's not going to be as hard and tricky as it is as you're first starting out. That's probably something like, people should also like really highlight and say for people who are trying to get into IT. Yeah. The burnout part, man, that's another story. Like there's so many, I guess, so many different ways that we can go with that conversation. I guess for you, since you asked about the constant learning and then burnout, yeah, I could see where you would, a lot of people would probably get burnt out by that. But it's one of those things where you kind of have to like not let yourself get too overwhelmed with things, especially from the learning part. Like all that stuff just it takes time. It's a time thing. Like it'll get better over time. The burnout I think happens to a lot of people because like technology never stops, it never sleeps, and it's always doing something different. And so many people need like constantly think they need to be on top of that, adapt, change like along with it, like instantaneous. And if they're not, like they're just going to fall behind. But that's just not the case. That's not how it works. So like yeah, sorry, it got interrupted. I think I went off that guy. Anyway, there's so many different reasons for burnout is really like what I was getting at. There's just so many different reasons for burnout. It's hard. I don't know where I want to go with it, because I guess I would like to ask you, like, what specifically about burnout are you worried about, or what is burning you out? What do you see burning you out? Troy Smith, you just passed your CompTIA Security Plus. Thinking about taking the Security Blue Team Level 1 training. Any thought on that? Congratulations on passing your CompTIA Security Plus, first of all. And if you're looking for your next part of your journey, I would highly, highly suggest the SOC Core Skills with John Strand. It's from Anti-Siphon Training. It is a pay what you can class. They do have pay what you can, so it could be free. It could be like fairly cheap, or you could be like, hey, like I really like what they're doing, and I will support you, and I will give you some dollars. This is going to be the very best, like blue, like fundamental entry level blue team training that you can get. This is going to be very, very hands on, very much walking you through all the methodologies, technologies, tools, skills behind security operations, fundamental blue teaming. That would be the route to go, especially after the CompTIA Security Plus. And just to show y'all what I'm talking about, it's this class right here. It's the SOC Core Skills with John Strand. John Strand is an absolute legend. So entertaining. This guy, this John Strand right here, he is so entertaining. Like, I would just encourage you to come to the SOC Core Skills class just to hang out with John and listen to him talk, because you're going to learn so much from that guy, and you're going to have a good time. That's what, like, to me, like, that was what was so cool when I sat down and started watching John's course. I actually sat down with a different course that he was teaching first. I was like, oh my God, like, this is just enjoyable. Like, I actually could just sit here and listen to him talk because it was just fun. He made it exciting. He really, truly did. And it's just interesting to see, because you don't always have that with teachers, especially people who are teaching technology. I think so many people teaching technology are pretty dry for the most part. Not all of them. I think a lot of them are getting better these days. But yeah, John just brings like this whole different like personality to it, and it's really, really cool to see. So that's what I would check out. Kimberly says, I love learning new things. When I found out tech and InfoSec, I was like, oh, to infinity and beyond. There's always something new to learn on the daily. Yeah, there is. Never gets old. Asking for what you are worth. You see average and, in your honest opinion, low paying gigs out there. You think you're worth 150 to 200K. Do you just need to start asking for that up front? But what makes you think you're worth 150 to 200K? I would love to know that. Man, like, knowing your worth is such a hard thing for everybody. It really, really is. But yeah, Andy Winter, that's a lot of money. What makes you worth that? Would love to know that. Porsche 911 fan, good to see you. Question, you have an interview about a PC configuration tech. Do you think that would be a good next step out of help desk? Depends on what exactly that involves. What is, are you configuring the PCs, or are you configuring anything in relation to like imaging process and updates and things like that? It depends on like what's involved in that position, I guess. It wouldn't seem like it would be necessarily a next step, though. It seems almost like a lateral type of movement that involves imaging PC. But would you be responsible for building those images and managing those images, or would you just be the person who is imaging the computers? Because if you are just the person that is imaging the computers, yeah, I would say that's like a step backwards. Kimberly, love that course. Taking it twice already and need to post your write-ups. Learning from John is like learning from Sands with comedy added. 100%. He is so funny. Like, that dude just cracks me up all the time, which is awesome, because like, again, like, I feel like you don't always get that with training. And I wouldn't say like he goes out of his way necessarily to be funny or to provide like entertainment to what he's doing. Like, I think it's just John being John. And that's what's really cool about it. It's just like, you get what you get, and what you get is something really special. And I mean that. It's really cool and interesting to see. Jacob, in a recent interview, you had a candid conversation in which the interviewer stated that you lack experience in the field, but recognize that is because you haven't had a career in the field. Thoughts? That's interesting. That's such an like a candid conversation to have during an interview, for real. Um, that is so interesting. Wow. I mean, they're specifically talking about you at lacking experience in cybersecurity. But, like, how many years have you worked in IT now? And you're like a sysadmin or something, right? Like, you don't just have a like a like a BS job or something. Like, you've worked in IT for a while. Yes or no? Right? Like, I mean, pretty sure yes. But, like, that just doesn't make sense to me. So my thoughts, like, I don't know, like, I guess I would love to see how that conversation went. Yeah, 16 plus years. So, like, you more than have experience. So what is it that they're looking for exactly? Are they looking for a unicorn? Like, I don't understand that. Like, yes, yeah, sure, Jacob. Like, you don't have experience in cybersecurity. Sure. But you have 16 years of experience working in IT, and you've gone through like all of this different training and stuff to get yourself, you know, to the level that you would need to be successful working in cybersecurity. And even still, like, you don't need all of that to even work in. You have you have all of the years, man. So I think Kimberly just said it. Gatekeepers. Like, I don't know what the heck that these people were looking for, but like, what I would tell you, if somebody to do that to me, I would be pissed. I would just tell them, like, straight up, "Go F yourself," really, honestly. And again, I don't know, that's why I kind of, like, was wondering, like, I'd love to see how that conversation went. Like, I don't know, like, the tone in which that they were speaking to you and how, how that got brought up. But with somebody with 16 plus years of experience, if somebody yeah, like, if somebody told me that, I would tell them to go F themselves, for real. Like, that's just this is the stupidest thing that I just don't yeah, I don't understand that. I'm sorry for you. That makes me mad. Yeah. BN, you have an interview next week with the Hearst Media News Channel for IT support. You work in a NOC help desk now with 1.5 years of experience, no certs yet. You know you need to get them any tips for the interview. Um, yeah, I think if you were caught my stuff earlier, just be honest. If you don't know the answer to a question, be honest about it, but explain your thought process. Tell them that you know how to find all of the answers. Um, yeah, those are that's always like the best advice that I give to people and like some of the most fundamental stuff. But I think a lot of people don't really think about that, understand that. You have a great work ethic, but also being effective in tech, you have to know so much. With the Home Depot paying 40, 50K for cashiers these days, you think we all need to ask for more. Okay, this was in relation to me asking why you think you're worth 150 to 200K. So why do you think you're worth that much? Because you have a great work ethic? Was that why? I mean, yeah. I don't even make $200,000 a year. I would love to make $200,000 a year. Do I think I'm worth $200,000 a year? No, I think I'm worth like $500,000 a year. But I don't think I'm ever gonna convince somebody that I'm worth $500,000 a year. All right? Uh, yeah, this too, right? Even with those with experience in X, Y, and Z, employers looking for ABC but refuse to bridge that gap. There is a lot of that. Everybody wants a freaking unicorn. It was for a penetration tester position, and it was a great and understanding tone. It still seems like shitty though, man, honestly. Like, it just doesn't seem appropriate. It does not seem appropriate for anybody to tell you that with all of your experience that you've had. Like, it's not I don't know, man. That just seems really crappy. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to like wrap my head around this, like, honestly, and I don't understand that. I mean, there's I guess different ways to look at it, but I just don't see that. I don't. I, it just makes me mad, man. Rose, do I have any recommendations and suggestions for someone who just started out and have no prior knowledge or experience in IT? You feel so overwhelmed. You're going to feel overwhelmed for like the first 5 years. First and foremost, just like know and understand that you will never, ever, ever in your entire lifetime, even if you lived a million years, well, maybe if you live, no, probably not. You'll never know everything that there is about IT. It's not expected of you. You're not supposed to know all of the things, like you're really not. IT is one of those careers where you start to learn things and then you just learn more and more and more and more over time. Like it's just one of those things. Um, Someone just starting out, just have that understanding. You don't need to know everything. The fundamentals, those are great things to know and to have. CompTIA A plus, Network plus, Security plus, all of that knowledge that you can gain from studying those certifications is fantastic. You by no means need to go out and get to those certifications because they are very expensive, but that's all fundamental knowledge that would be helpful for you. Do you need to know and understand all of that though? No, because like even with like the A plus or Security plus, there's information on there that just does not apply to the real world in being useful for you. Like that's like a fact. There is information on those exams that you'll never need to know or understand in real world IT. So like understand that also. But really to be most effective for anybody starting out, number one, learn to document. Document all of the things. Take notes all of the time. Please, that is first and foremost. Take notes, document everything. Number two, learn Active Directory. Number three, learn ticketing systems. Number four, I don't know, try to be better at customer service and communication and things like that, because that's going to be helpful for you in IT. Those are the things that you really, really need to get started in IT, from like my opinion. Like those are going to be the things that are going to help you stand out for employment. Have I ever considered coaching calls? Yes, but I don't have the time, and I don't really want to charge money for it. And then it goes back to time. Like I just don't have the time. Um, I would love to set up something where we do like, and we have like a live stream where we do coaching calls with people. Um, but yeah, it's one of those. That's one of those things that I feel really bad about, because like a lot of people want to do coaching calls with me for whatever reason. It's fine. I love to I love talking to people and motivating people and inspiring people. Like that's what I live for. I live for helping people. Um, but like, yeah, I can't. I have 4 children and a full-time job, and I wish that I could. It makes me feel bad. Like this channel, IT Career Questions as a channel, like it's been neglected so much, it makes me feel bad. I have guilt. I carry guilt around with me constantly because of YouTube. Like constantly carry guilt because of this channel. And that's because like it has so much potential to help people, and I don't always have the time to do this stuff, like I don't. Like my wife was just down here like saying, hey, we're gonna be leaving here soon because we're gonna go take the kids to an arcade. um yeah, I wish I had more time to do this stuff and to help more people, because I enjoy this and y'all need this. You need somebody like I wish that I had somebody like me when I was coming up. Like that's why I do this, because all of the people that I had when I was coming up were always telling me not to do it. And don't work in IT, it's oversaturated. Don't work in IT because of this and that and blah blah blah. And gosh, even growing up, like computers aren't going to do anything. Why are you sitting on the computer all day, Zach? It's useless. It's a waste of time. Not ever going to do anything for you. Now here we are, and does everything for me. But yeah, like that's kind of like what I had. I think when I was kind of like figuring out what I was doing with my life is that I had people who were constantly telling me not to do this. And nobody was inspiring me to do this or giving me that motivation to do this. And it's just like, I want to do that because, for me, the journey that I went through and understanding what I do after all of these years is that anybody can work in IT. And I encourage that. Like, it doesn't take, like a rocket scientist to work in IT. Really doesn't. This is something that everybody can do. And if you have an interest of working in this field, then yeah, I want to help you if I can. I might not always be able to, but if I can provide any type of insight, guidance, or anything like that, like 100%, I want to be able to do that. So yeah. Anyway, sorry, just went on a long little tirade thing there, or whatever. Not a tirade, but whatever. If you could do your path over, would I go cyber analyst or pen tester again? If I could do my path all over again, I would go into development and be a programmer, because the greedy side of me tells me like that's where all of the money is. And I would love to be more financially stable, but I would also, I think, yeah, programming would be like the way to go. There's so many different, like so much possibility. I wish I was smart enough to be a programmer. I am not, and I have so many amazing ideas that I would love to like write out into a program or an application, because I know it would be extremely beneficial to me and help me out, but I'm not smart enough to do that. But yeah, that's what I would do. Question: what's my favorite note-taking system? You're transitioning from Trello to ClickUp to see how you like it. My favorite note-taking system, well, since I just got back into a Microsoft environment, it's OneNote. But yeah, it's usually Notion. Notion is my favorite thing ever of all time. I absolutely love Notion. Like, Notion is one of the coolest applications to ever come into play as far as note taking and all of those things. So like Notion and Obsidian. Obsidian is just like Notion. Those are two really, really good systems. Jacob, if you had consent, would you record an interview so you could rewatch it like game footage later? Heck yeah, I would. Absolutely, 100%. I would love to do that. I would like that. Yeah, I would love to do that. Like, I cannot tell, like, yes, I cannot stress to you enough how cool that would be. Because like I always tell people, like, interviews, it's, you go through them, it's practice. You're going to get better the more interviews that you do. It's really crappy to say, I know, but yeah, the more interviews you do, the better you get. It's practice. Practice makes perfect. But yeah, I would totally record it, because I would love to see where I screwed up. Like, I play that stuff back in my head. So like, I recorded it in my mind, and then I go back through my VCR in my head. That's like a video, video, what does the C stand for? Video something recorder, right? Video cassette recorder. Yeah. Some of you probably have no idea what that is, and I'm sorry. But yeah, I play that stuff back in my head. Like, I think about all those times that I screwed up in interviews. And guess what? Like, I never make that same mistake twice. But yeah, I would totally record it. I love that. Would love my take. I only got about another 5 to 10 minutes, just so y'all know. I should probably make it 5. But anyway, you would love my take. You have a CS degree. Does that make getting entry-level certs pointless? Got to follow up to, depending on the answer. No. Here's the thing about like degrees and certifications. Degrees and certifications only have value to those employers who see value in degrees and or certifications. Meaning, not every employer puts the same weight and value on degrees or certifications. Furthermore, like, there are jobs out there that have no requirements. There are IT jobs out there. They don't care if you have a degree or not. They don't care if you have certifications or not. Because many times within the world of information technology, you're going to find that there are many people out there who don't have degrees, who never graduated from high school, who never got a certification until they were already working in IT for like 20 years, right? There's many people out there like that who don't have any of those things, who work in IT, right? There are many people like that. Just depends on whoever that employer is. You know, some employers might value some certifications more than a degree. Some employers might value the degree more than certifications. Um, does it make entry-level certifications pointless? No, because there are some jobs out there that will actually require some of those certifications. So there's that. There is that. With 4 kids, a homie is a system admin of his own house. Yeah, something like that. There's what, 4 kids, 3 cats, 2 dogs. It is a zoo. Yeah, like literally a freaking zoo. But it is helping people. You have tons of content we can find in the meantime while you take care of what you need to in between. That's what all your videos and playlists are here for. Yeah, a lot of that stuff is evergreen too. It hasn't really changed. Like there's still videos I think on this channel that are 7 years old that would still stand today. And whatever like insight and guidance or whatever that I provided in those videos 7 years ago, even maybe 10 years ago, I guarantee that there is, you know, still things that carry over from that information to today. Like I did this IT basics video. Look at I'm gonna pull this up. Like IT basics that you should learn. And I really want to do an updated video for this for like 2024. But the fact is, like reality here, not much has changed on that. Like this whole video, like there is literally not much that has changed. I tell people learn Microsoft stuff, like, you know, like email and Excel and Word and all of those things. Those are basic skills for computer jobs. Like you're going to run across Microsoft stuff. You'll also run across like the Google ecosystem. So, you know, the Google Docs and Google Sheets and all that stuff. And then I'm like doing this, and I could just do this with you all. I could just do this with you all here. Right, here you go. And then here's the most replayed. I talk about the command prompt, learning the command prompt. Yeah, that's some basic skills for computer jobs. I talk about PowerShell too. Yeah, PowerShell's great. Most replayed, what I talk about? Oh, what do you know? When did I do this video? 8 years ago. And I talk about learning Active Directory then. And I still talk about how important it is to learn Active Directory right now. Right? Like I talk about group policy. Like, yeah, that's a great thing to learn. These are like, yeah, this is stuff like if you want to really stand out, like if you're just getting a degree or you're just getting certifications and you're trying to get started in IT and you don't know the fundamentals of any of these things within this video, this is the stuff that you need to start learning right now, because this is the stuff that you'll end up getting asked about in interviews. Or this is the stuff, if you have like on your resume, it's going to stand out because this is the stuff that's used every single day in entry-level IT. Yeah, group policy, we talk about Exchange, we talk about GHCP. Yeah, like this whole video, like it's 8 years old, but every single bit of information in that video is relevant today in 2024. It's phenomenal. It's crazy. It's like anything else. Don't get into the field because you think it will give you a nice house and car and vacations. Yeah. Don't think that. Could it do all of those things? Sure. Sure, it could. Does it always happen? Nah. Do it because you like it and experiment and learn on your own PC electronic setups before even considered for a job. Yep. You're a senior in high school last year. You went to trade school. You were top of your class. And you became CompTIA certified, yet you can't get a job. What should you do? How many jobs have you applied for? How many interviews have you gotten? Answer that for me. That's how you found me? That's crazy. You was those old videos in CompTIA. Yeah, I did a lot of stuff with CompTIA back in the day. CompTIA. CompTIA. Anyway, 4 kids. Wow, how do you find the time to study? I don't sleep. Like, no, for real. I sleep probably like 5-6 hours a night because, yeah, that's the only way I can do it. Quite literally. It's not the healthiest. It's not the best, but yeah. I mean, if I didn't go to bed at like midnight or 1 o'clock every night, like I wouldn't get any of the things done that that I want to do and that Zach wants to do. And I'm kind of a selfish person when it comes to that. Like there's, like I need my own time for my own sanity. Like I need that. Everybody's like people in my house are always like, well, you sit at home and work all day every day by yourself. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not the same. I'm working. Like it's not the same. It is literally not the same. Yeah, so different. Also, I hate working from home. Hate it. Anyway, there are no more questions, I don't think. And I have to go because we are going to the arcade with the children. It's so exciting. I'm actually kind of excited for it. Just FYI. Okay, hang on. I asked you, and I will respond. This is the last part of the questions that I will answer today. So first of all, thank you everybody for being here with me today. Very much appreciated. I love doing these things, and I do say this all the time. Want to do them more often. And I was upset that I didn't do this last week during the week because that's when I really, really wanted to do it. So that's why I'm doing it today, and I'm hoping that I do this again, next week during the week, because this is fun. Anyway. You applied for about 15. The only one that you were interviewed for was your godfather's company, where they only hire people with degrees. You're being pressured by your parents to go to college, and you don't know what to do. Apply for more jobs, but you'll probably need to redo your resume, sir. I would imagine. Let me pull up a video for you. I'm gonna go back. I gotta go back to my channel. I'll browse for it. You guys can come with me. It's not that one. It's this one. It's the fix your damn resume. This one. Copy this. What the heck? Haven't watched you for years. When do you become a Giga Chad, brother? You look amazing, man. What is a Giga Chad? Like, I'm being dead serious. I have no idea what a Giga Chad is. Did I Google this? Do I want to Google this? What is a Giga Chad? The term that indicates that the person who is initially assumed to be real is the ultimate Chad Thundercock, an internet archetype representing an ultra masculine, sexually attractive male. Okay. Yeah, this is me being old, not understanding your new lingo and terminologies for things. I don't know. Do I say thank you? I don't know. Thanks. Anyway, for the person for interviews and stuff, yeah, check out this video. You think he's calling me fit and alpha? Definitely no. I don't subscribe to that stuff like that. I hate that. Like that stuff is like these, like there's a lot of things that are stupid in life, that type of stuff is like, yeah, alpha, like male stuff and all that. It's just like so stupid. Like, I'm sorry, no offense to anybody. And if you take offense to that, well, then you're not the right person for this channel or for my content, because I think that stuff is stupid. Like, I treat everybody like literally equally because we're all human beings and individuals, and we all have different feelings and thoughts and all of that fun stuff. I literally like treat everybody the same because that's just the right thing. So yeah, yes, the alpha BS is so toxic for real. Anyway, I could probably talk all day about this, but this is an IT channel. But I guess in that same vein, like if you are that person and you're in IT, like IT is not right for you. I'm sorry to tell you that. Yeah, don't come alpha-ing in IT. Stupid. Anyway. Oh, you just mean you lost so much weight since I lost you and you look good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've lost, I don't know, like 150 pounds in the last 2 years. You would suggest using ChatGPT when finding out questions that will be answered at specific job interviews and asked to give. Yep, we talked about that. It's great help. Great. All right, y'all. I gotta go. It's great talking with y'all and hanging out. And I hope you all have a wonderful day and all of that fun stuff. This is my favorite T-shirt, by the way. It obviously comes from DEF CON, but it is Zelda themed. I love me some Zelda. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all. Hope you have a great day, evening,